Aloha from Hawaii. Welcome to our Thursday night class, which we do every week from our Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Healing Center here on the island of Kauai. I'm Lamatashi, and when we do these practices, it's good to understand that without practice, there's no benefit. No benefit to self, no benefit to others. So the whole basis of this lineage that we follow is using these methods. And that's why this Karma Kagyu lineage is called the practice lineage. And tonight we're going to do methods in bringing the imagination and focus together, both of which are absolutely necessary to make progress with the healing aspects of these shamanistic methods of Tibetan Buddhism. So when we say imagination, we're talking about how to visualize, how to use the picture aspect of your mind, which is actually controlled by these two glands, which are in your frontal lobe. That's why they show pictures of people meditating with the eye on their forehead. And then focus simply means to bring your awareness, which is distracted on everything else, to one place, to one point of whatever you're meditating on. Then that focus, along with the imaginary process, lightens up the mind, causes healing energy to pervade your body, which is called psychic energy. And that's the ultimate purpose of these practices. There are a lot of people that think that we're a religion. We are not. We are not engaged in the process of faith-based traditions of moving towards a rebirth in a celestial realm in the next life. But our purpose is to bring compassion and loving kindness as the basis of these practices in daily life. And then on the basis of that, your future looks good. And that's it. Now, Lama Rinpoche's book we have it on Amazon through Heidi Weiss developing it. We're going to have a voice book also soon. That's in the development. And this is called The Story of All of Us Simply Said. And this was put out by my teacher in Honolulu, Lama Rinpoche, and it took 20 years to develop this. But I strongly recommend that all students of any form of meditation practice or want to know who and what they are and why they're here, get this book, The Story of All of Us Simply Said. And just before we take refuge, I'm going to read one excerpt, page 55, because I know a lot of you have this book. And this has to do with the structure of the meditation, using belief, which some people call faith, I call trust, and devotion. Devotion is a word in Guru Yoga or in some other traditions. We use it to devote ourselves to the practice of being devoted to others. And through that devotion, then we extend that to the teachers to give us the methods to strengthen our own situations so that we can avoid or remove ourselves completely from pain and suffering, which is very productive. And it goes like this. Having faith or trust is to have a genuine belief in the qualities of the Lama, who is the teacher in this tradition. The devotion in this genuine trust to this spiritual teacher and the experiences that arise are because of the qualities of the Lama having done these practices. When faith and devotion has been established in our mind, we need to develop in our mind also a commitment that from this moment onward, we will work to awaken our own true nature, which is innate in our consciousness, which we call mind. And we will dedicate all our efforts to the awakening, this same awakening of all other sentient beings. There are many different methods that lead practitioners to develop trust and devotion on their own. And for some, it might take months and others years. But there are progressive stages that the mind has to go through to develop clear awareness. If this wasn't true, practitioners in meditation could start out right away at the highest level of meditation practice called Mahamudra. But that doesn't work. So we have to start out developing these certain qualities with the guidance of the teacher, using the basic methods of compassion and we call unconditional love. The Dalai Lama made a statement the other day on the internet, on YouTube, when asked what is love. And he said, love is, he used the word unconditional love, is lack of judgment, removing judgment. It cannot be said too many times that the student has to develop on their own, with the guidance of the teacher, developing trust and devotion, all through their own efforts. In no way can the teacher impart the results to the student, only by setting a good example. So this is for you. Every student that comes to this class gets a copy. And if you want others to have it, they can get it for $7 on Amazon. And we go through them quite fast here. Now we're going to start the practice with what is called the altruistic motivation. And then we're going to recite the prayer of refuge and the prayer of the practice of this, what we call the 6 methods of this Bodhisattva tradition. So I'm going to read this first one in English, which is the altruistic motivation, which is unique in Tibetan Buddhism. And it goes like this. In order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our mothers, we now all together take refuge and offer prostration. So the altruistic motivation means that all of what we are doing is for the benefit of others, and to alleviate their suffering, and over time bring each and every one of them, animals, humans, spirits, which are sentient beings, to realize their own true nature. That's our purpose. And I'm going to chant that in Tibetan so this, because the spirits, they understand the Tibetan better than English. Da dong jowa namge da dong yampe sem chem tam che tu di ne ju te ji si jen chu ning po la chi ki bar du. And we'll chant the refuge and the bodhicitta prayer in Tibetan. Balden lama dampa nam la jap su chio Yedam chokor gi maso nama japsu chio Sanjay cho dende nama japsu chio Dampe chur nama japsu chio Pao gandro chokyo chume Sho ye sheki shendam dempa Nam la japsu chio Pao pao te gendu Nam la japsu chio. I left that one out. Sanjay chodam choki chodam Cheng chu bardu dagni japsu chio Dagi jenso jipe sonaki chola benjer sanjay dupar sho. And we'll read the refuge on the right side of the sheet in English. We go for refuge to all glorious holy lamas. We go for refuge to all the hidden or the deities gathered in our mandalas. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have conquered the mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. And we go for refuge to all Dakas and Dakinis, who are the protectors and defenders of the Dharma. All of these possessing the eye of transcending awareness. To the Buddha, Dharma, and this supreme assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, through the merit of practicing the sixth perfection, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. The six disciplines of the Bodhisattva path start with generosity, which is like Christmas every day. But generosity is extended to yourself by doing these practices. Then the result of the practice is the good karma of that spreading to others. As I mentioned, I did one of the prayers here for the spirits. Spirits inhabit everything. They inhabit your body, they inhabit the plant world, mineral world, and they pervade boundless space. But that's a lot of spirit. That's a lot of sentient beings. But it's nice to know that all these spirits were once human and will be humans again. So in the process, we use their energy along with our own energy and that of the animals and other humans, which are also sentient beings. Now, this, what I just said, is called interconnectedness. All of these spirits, all of these animals, and all the humans in the entire universe are interconnected to us, to each one of us, individually. And that interconnectedness causes whatever you're doing to pervade their energy field, and vice versa. And a good example of this is what I do, I could say hobby, or it used to be my life, is I like to farm and grow vegetables, grow food. Like our house here is surrounded by orchard and garden. But it is necessary that you have involvement with the spirit energy of the place where you're growing your food. Why? Because they make it taste better. Actually, they perform a lot of the energy of the growth of those plants. At the mineral life level, they're called elemental spirits. But as the sunlight and the rain and all of the fertilizer or whatever we're using to produce, they energize it. And they do it in such a way that it's less work for you as a gardener. And also it helps you to put some artistic expression into these plant world endeavors. And that same program can be applied to the human, growing humans, which is what mothers do. Mothers create human beings and then they fertilize them and help them survive and mature. Well, this maturity is what we call Buddhahood. And it's as far as you can progress in the human condition. And what it means is simply to be not only aware of this relative world, which we all are, we use that our awareness for that. Be aware of a relative nature of your consciousness where there's no drama, no, not just judgment, but no emotional programming necessary. And that aspect of the consciousness is innate in all sentient beings, animals, humans, and spirits. But it can only be developed in the human condition. And that's why we're doing this program. That's why all my teachers are trained in those two natures of consciousness. The relative one, which everybody's involved in, which is out here, and the innate one, which is your own clear conscious awareness, which is inside. And once those two factors of awareness are brought together, by whatever means, like some people get them through near-death experiences. That's kind of the hard way. Some get them through extreme physical activity, like one of my students runs 20 miles and goes into the zone. That's another way. Extreme physical work or conditioning. Or some people use psychotropic drugs and sex and so forth. But you want to know that that is more powerful and more beneficial, appropriate, than the way we're doing it. Infinitely more. And you don't want to make it supernatural, because nothing is supernatural. This whole universe is totally a level playing field. But at the same time, you want to honor it. You want to honor your own specific state of clarity. Because each of us have our own karma, our own ways of doing things. And a lot of people don't believe in karma, they don't believe in past lives, they don't believe in future lives. But that's the way it is. Believe or not believe. And whatever you did in past life is why you're in this situation, for instance, right now, this life. And that's good. And you want this to progress, not only on through this life, but on into your next adventure, your next life. And so we do that. And when we say generosity, that's ultimate generosity. That you are giving this gift to yourself so that you have all what you need, good food, nice friends, roof over your head, good place to live, fun things to do, on into the next life. Now, the only difference between this world and the next world is this one is solid. But not as solid as we think, because the scientists will tell you that this is not solid, this is made of light. So that program is the next life. So this physical nature of this world is just simply less substantial than the next world. And because of that, there's different ways of functioning. But the most important way to function, whether it be this life or the next life, is with kindness. Loving kindness. And that's our religion. If you want to say, what's our religion? Loving kindness. Self, others, the environment, etc. The point being is, when you practice meditation, those themes are based on these words that you just said to start this practice. And then that kind of guidance is given verbally or orally, transmitted by the lamas, men and women who know all this, and in certain books, texts, and now we have videos and movies and so forth. But to simplify it, it all comes down to breathing, breath. Because without that, you're not going to stay in the body. And if you use it, you'll be more powerful in your physical situation. So we start these practices with just that. So sitting is the best way to start the practice in most yoga or meditation. And having the back straight is important, because it allows the energy to flow up and down through the energy channels within the body correctly. The head slightly tilted allows this energy channel to line up with the inner energy channels called chakras. Hands in a comfortable position, either on the knees or in the lap. The fourth position is the mouth closed with the tongue resting against the palate. And the fifth mudra or position is to soften your gaze, maybe half close your eyes, and pick a spot of space energy or light, arm's length in front, about 2 feet in front of your eye, not close and not to an object, using the light energy program of space itself as the media. Then bring your focus to your breath. And simply follow the inhale, air coming into your lungs, your diaphragm expanding so it's all coming down into your abdominal area. And exhale out the nose if possible. Then to withdraw from the activities of the day and place yourself in a state of calm, abiding, peace and tranquility, we start the method of prana yoga meditation using what is called the 3 lights. To do this, as you inhale, you visualize white light, the air energy which holds all the elements, coming into your lungs, filling them with white light. The second breath, or the middle breath, is the energy of that spontaneously spreading through your body. You visualize red light flashing through every cell in your body. Then you exhale the result of these two as blue light out your nose to space. Inhale white light, fill your lung. Absorption breath, red light flashing through the body. Exhale blue light out your nose to space. Don't be discouraged if you can't see the color code. It will come. And when you feel yourself begin to settle with less distraction, take your focus off your breath. And with your imagination, think that the 3 colors are coming together in the center of your chest and creating a tiny particle similar to an atom, which connects to the infinite light of space throughout the boundless fabric of space. And you just rest at that point. No meditation necessary. Just relax. And use the point to stay present. This is called the all-pervasive nature of mind, which is our function of highest consciousness. Then with your imagination, having used this as a basis, space, light, visualize that little point in the center of your chest as creating what we call a heart chakra energy program. Visualize the point to expand until it creates a small sphere of clear light. And with that, you've entered into this three-dimensional, we say, worldly situation. Then visualize that small sphere of clear light to slowly expand, and as it does, it forms a blue sphere of light about the size of a small grape or marble. They say about the size of your thumbnail. Label that water, one of the 5 elements. Now the elements cannot be separated, but individually they are used with symbols for healing. So this blue water sphere, psychically engineered in your mind, placed in your heart center, visualized in your heart center, is going to be the symbol of this healing method. Visualize it moving out of your body directly in front and up before your eyes, 2 feet out. Even though its nature is space, its healing energy is water. Then with your imagination, visualize it to increase in size until you can see your physical body sitting in this blue sphere of light. Floating just as you are inside. The psychic energy that you are receiving into your physical form is actually all the 5 elements, but your form being mostly of water, this is the one that's primarily being energized. Then visualize the blue sphere to expand in size to completely enclose this island of Kauai, or the city or area where you live. inside. At this point, you're starting to share the healing energy with all the beings in the diameter of that area. Then expand it in size to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere. In this way, all the heart-mind energy is shared with all the beings on and in this planet. Expanded in size to completely enclose our solar system, visualizing the sun and planets inside. Then visualize it to expand to completely enclose our spiral disc-shaped galaxy. Then go beyond the confines of your imagination, expanding it to boundless space, our entire phenomenal world. No meditation, just relax in space. Be present. If the code color remains, that's okay. Now saturated with this ultimate nature of consciousness, return to the use of the symbol of water, this blue sphere of light enclosing our galaxy. Shrink it in size to just enclose our solar system. Then smaller and smaller to just enclose Mother Earth. Then much smaller to just enclose your island or town where you live, the area where you live. Your neighborhood. Then again, to small, to just enclosing your physical form. Visualize yourself just as you are inside. Then bring all of this energy and shrink it to the original size we started with in front, place it in front of your eye. Bring it to heart level and into your heart mind, heart chakra. All of the energy of healing in the entire universe in your heart. Then shrink the blue sphere to a small clear light sphere and keep the process going till you again connect to the particle. Again, relax in boundless space. Your own clear light nature of mind. Stay present. More and more confined to the instant present. No past, no future, no method required. Then bring this awareness that you are developing out in front of your eyes and spread it into your place of practice to finish the session. We take a break. And that is called the 5 Lights Healing Meditation Practice. And anybody can do it. We teach this in schools and universities and to thousands of people on the web. And all it is simply what has been going on in the human condition for thousands of years, how we've survived as humans, as tribal beings, using the elemental energy of earth, which in our method, in this practice, is a 6-sided yellow cube. And we give this sheet out that explains these 6 elements and how they function. But this practice that we just did is done with each of these. The way we did the water, earth, if you think you need more earth, fire, the red pyramid. Air, a half sphere of green light. And space, a sphere of white light. Now space and water cannot be separated. We say mind and body can't be separate. No matter where you go, the habit is to be something. In some way, some form, some energy program. So that's the outer world. And it's useful if you're in a survival mode, like in Tibet. Tibet is a very austere place, very dry, not a lot of wildlife, very little water, rain, and so forth. Lower parts of the Himalayas, more like Hawaii, but once you get up into the higher ranges, then very cold. And so the Tibetans had to use this just like all the tribes of the planet. And how they did it was to grow their barley. And when they grew the barley, they connected to the elemental energies of the spirits and so forth around them. And when they did that, they got what they needed because they made offerings to these spirits. And that connected them to this inner awareness, because in those offerings, they put this loving kindness, compassion aspect of our clear nature into these artistic expressions, which they made out of food. And a byproduct of the barley, we call beer. They call bliss. But those two together offer to the spirit with lots of requests and what we call prayers. They said wishes. Tibetan word for prayers, wishes. Cause the rain to come to, where they could get this barley crop in, because they only have 2 months, summer. And with that, they could survive the winter. Then they wouldn't have to eat each other and their horses and yaks and sons and daughters and so on, which they did. And so this inner nature of the consciousness is flavored entirely by the outer world, the plant, the mineral life, and the beings in it. And it is where you connected to space in this practice. But if you think about it, as you were going from the basic space to the ultimate space, you were using light, symbols in your mind. So the space was always there. You could actually use the space as one of the symbols. But that's kind of redundant. Because look, there's space between it. You have space right here where you started. But these other ones cause secretions from these two glands to do things hormonally within your body that lessen the patterning in the body. And the awareness factors that are developing lessen your desire, your attachment, lessen your anger tendency, lessen your jealousy tendency, lessen your arrogance. You know, we Americans, we're pretty arrogant, rightfully so. But it's not a good idea. So these 4 categories, attachment, aversion, pride, and jealousy, are simply based on ignorance. Ignorance is thinking and using the thoughts to cause the idea that everything is separate, more and more, in what you say and what you do. That's basic ignorance. Losing this truth of interconnectedness. And that, together with judging what appears, is the cause of all pain and suffering. Those 2 things cause the attachment to arise, the aversion to rise, the jealousy to rise, and the arrogance to rise. And what are those 2 things? The idea of separation and judging what you're sensually experiencing. Ooh, how are you going to stop doing that? You can't. But you can modify it. You can transform it. So what happens is you're taking the energy pattern of the emotions, which cause all the sickness, disease, and problem, and simply moving it into another aspect of consciousness. And since consciousness is all-pervasive, it's called the Dharmakaya in Tibet. Dharma means nature of mind, Kaya means vehicle. If you understand that the mind doesn't really have a limit, then you get to be like I'll use George Soros, who's a multi-billionaire. He doesn't know anything about any of this stuff, but he meditates with symbols, he said, 6 hours a day. And because he did that, he becomes like women. Women have an intuitive understanding of how things are. That's how they take care of the kids. I mean, they don't have to go to school to take. Well, nowadays you do, but didn't used to. But intuitive awareness. So then he could manipulate the financial market. And he became a multi-billionaire, I think trillionaire. And now he's 85 years old, which is a byproduct of meditating all night. I'm 80, so I'm going to catch up with you. And he's a good example, because now he's taking all that wealth and spreading it around, putting it back out there. What do you call that?
Philanthropist.
It's a funny word.
Yeah, that.
I taught Mama Richards with big words, but I don't think I ever taught. But anyway, these 5 elements, which cause physical healing, connect inside to your heart mind. This mind is the sensual mind. This is the one that I like this and I don't like that. And I'm so great or I'm so weak. That one. That's this one. Right? Yeah, we all got that one. But it's useful. Because why? Because it's just energy. You can transform it. When you transform it, you can control, you can discipline these tendencies in such a way that they turn into either nothing whatsoever, which is one method, or into a totally opposite healing modality. For instance, if you can take the idea of interconnectedness and use that idea, it is the antidote to anger. And in Buddhism, that's that Buddha. And how do you know it's that Buddha? With the way his hands are placed. So wherever you go in the world, you'll see Buddhas with their hands like this, and this, these different positions. So those indicate what emotional energy they're using to benefit everybody else. Okay? And as I said before, Buddha is nothing but a symbol of a mature human being. That's why they're always either male or female statues. This one we're going to use tonight is a male one, and there's a female one, female Buddha. You see that? You get out of the way. And she is called PRAJNAPARAMITA, which means the perfection of awareness. This one is used to find things. This is called Manjushri. Okay, so we have Google, modern day way to find things.
So he's clarity?
Yeah, it's the clarity symbol. But the other one is the mature symbol of clarity that's unlimited. Female one. Okay. If I take jealousy and want to modify it, the way to control jealousy is take away the object of the jealousy. And just look at the jealousy. Create jealousy and then take away the object. Just look at it. Don't identify with who you are, because that's more problem. That's the problem in the first place. Because we're really not these tendencies. And watch it disappear. And then you'll know that jealousy is nothing whatsoever. That's one method. That's a very good method. But that only takes you halfway to what you could really do with the energy of jealousy. And that is use your body, speech, and mind to always be kind and considerate to others. We call that the Bodhisattva. Mind at rest, body in action, in a state of kindness. That's called the Bodhisattva, sattvic energy. The clarity, the ignorance one, you simply go to space. which we did in this meditation practice. We started in space, we went do, we ended back in space. Inner space, outer space, no different. Space is space. That's a given. Scientists prove that. But what do you do with all the patterning that's appearing? Okay? That's where you want to know how to use the space. See, like we're using space right here to produce this two-dimensional image of what's going on here everywhere, throughout space. That's pretty cool. And at the same time, it's counterproductive. Because people really believe that what they're seeing there is real. It's not. It's a light energy picture. And how do I prove that? Go on Facebook. Ooh. Or watch the news. Ooh. Then we get down to this, I'll use the earth element. We're all connected to earth. And when you use this element, earth, it's connected to the arrogance because of the color code, gold, yellow, these are precious. You know, like gold, like precious. But pride, arrogance, conceit, aggrandizement, there's many words for this, is simply establishing equality. For instance, in America, it would be really good if men and women were treated 100% equal. Religiously especially. Socially, on the political scale, it would be very nice. Get it? And so forth. So equality. Equality is relative. Equanimity is ultimate. Equanimity means no more negative emotion. No more. Have your emotions, but be the boss. This is called the master game. You can play the family game and the business game and all the war game and all these other games. But if you're playing the master game, you can play all the games. Because the mind is the master. Mind determines what you say and what you do. Everybody else now in yoga, they have a billion yoga centers running. They're disciplining their body. That's backwards. Then the mind goes, I'm so great, I can do this. Get it? The mind is the boss. Just like you did this healing practice. And why would you want to do this healing practice? Because it works. And we can teach it to kids. You can teach it, I teach it in a university. They teach it in their, what they call comparative religion, which is kind of a joke. How can you compare religions? Everybody thinks theirs is the best. Hard to do. But equal them out. So now we're going to do the practice moving from the relative of the elemental healing to the ultimate of the awareness factor, the clarity factor of your mind. And when we do that, we make everything spherical. The word spherical means like global, like planetary, like we just did, like everywhere. Yeah? So sit with your back straight. The break is over. Back straight, head tilted, hands on your knees or in your lap, mouth closed, eyes soft gaze to the space 2 feet in front. Same as before, bring your focus, your awareness to your breath. And when you inhale the light into your lungs, seeing your lungs fill with white light, hear the sound Om. As you flash the energy program of the elements through your body with red light, hear the sound Ah. And as you bring these two codes together and exhale out your nose, blue light to space, hear the sound Om. Inhale white light, fill the lungs, Om. Red light energy through every cell in your body, Ah. The combination of these two out the nose for the benefit of others throughout space, Boom. Blue light to space. Now reverse the lights. Inhale the blue light, fill your lungs. Here, Boom. The energy of that filling your body with red light, here, Ah. And the exhale of white light to space, here, Om. Now the reason I just did this is because some of the lamas, some of my students, teach the Hum blue light inhale, middle breath red, and the exhale white light to space. It doesn't matter. But for our lineage, we use white light in, here Om, energy, middle breath, Ah, and the blue light, the Hum, for space. And I think the reason we do that is we symbolize the blue light as ultimate healing. Now, as before, take your focus off your breath, and bring the three lights, the blue, the red, and the white, and the three sounds, Om, Ah, and Om, all of that vibratory energy into your heart center, into a particle, connecting to the ultimate nature of space itself. A living energy program that supports life. No boundary. Infinite application. Relax. Then focusing on the particle in your heart chakra, expand it to a tiny sphere of clear light. and gradually expand that until it creates a small sphere of 5-colored light, symbolizing the elements and 5 applications of clear awareness. And inside this 5-colored sphere of energy in your heart, see the sound D. It is a combination of the Om, Ah, and Hum, but it has a special application. And see it in red light, and it looks like it's a Sanskrit sound that looks like this. It looks like a funny U with a hook over it. And as I said, red light. Can you see that? So this is going to be placed in the side of 5-colored sphere in your heart. You're imagining that, visualizing that. Then we took refuge with the lamas and all of the symbols of the lamas. But also we took refuge in all of the Buddhas, their teachings, and all the people who practice. That's called the 3 jewels. So see them around you. Lamas, Buddhas, people practicing, all around you. This is your support. Then send 3-colored light, the Om, Ah, Hum light from the D, out to their heart centers. It's called a light offering, mind to mind. They all accept this, and from every direction, they return it into the D in your heart center. This is what's really going on in the planet, globally, right now. Then you change your ordinary body into the body of light of a bodhisattva called Manjushri. Knowing the name and knowing how this looks is simply to transform your idea of a solid, permanent, fixed physical situation into one that is real, illusory, completely made of light. And we use the symbol of Manjushri as a code because that's the way it's been done for the last 2,600 years. And you see yourself as, in this practice, as a male deity, young, healthy, smiling, with a reddish complexion, and dressed in silks and jewels as your quality, symbolizing your quality, good quality. And a 5-jewel crown symbolizing the 5 states of awareness that are antidotes to all your emotional affliction. And you are sitting on a moon and sun disk which light the darkness of space, and a 32-petal lotus flower, which is how the elements form into a plant. Just like you are evolving into your ultimate nature of awareness. Once you can see yourself as this illusory symbol, then you project it to the mother that created you, visualizing her sitting directly in front as a mirror image of you as this symbolic deity of light. And that's why I put this talk up here, because this is the artistic expression of the way it's been taught in Tibet, Tibetan shamanistic Lamaism, India and Tibet. Then you project it to your father and all your relatives, all your loved ones, and everybody you have karma with this life. Then project it to the 8 billion humans now inhabiting this planet. So in your mind, you're building a light mandala of light being. And you're filling more and more space in your mind by including all the animals that inhabit the ocean and on the land. Uncountable, infinite number of animals, as Manjushri. Then you project it to fill your mind with all the spirits that inhabit this entire universe. Once you've created this mandala in mind, it causes a vibratory energy in your heart center called a mantra. And this mantra is arranged as symbols of sound, and they are arranged around the D, the red D sound, which is the sound of light, inside the 5-colored sphere in your heart chakra. And they start with the Om in front, and they're all like this, like jewels. And the mantra goes like this: Om, Ah, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. And in the middle is the D. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. Om, Ar, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di, So, Ha. So the vibrate energy of your heart is changing the whole patterning system within your light body as Manjushri, expressed outward as healing energy with the speech to others. You're interconnected to everyone, everywhere. So this vibratory energy is to give them this vibratory healing sound. And you're visualizing this as stationary sounds, each one a different color, around the red D in your heart center. And the D and the mantra are filling your form with light energy, which escapes like the sun's energy as healing energy to others. So your body is causing healing, your speech is causing healing, and your mind is the control as the deity, and all your mother's filling space in your mind equal, all illusory, all made of light, every living being. Om Aravatsa Nadi Soha, 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 Om Aravatsa Nadi Soha. Now, once the mantra is established and the vibratory sound expressed, it continues on its own whether the speech is engaged or not. But it's communication that causes the healing, your voice. The second aspect of this is the D, is the vibratory sound of light itself. This is how the Sanskrit language is used to communicate the Dharma to all the cultures of the planet. And it is based solely on the vibration or patterning of everything. Then you as the deity, you are teaching yourself that you are nothing but light. If you are nothing, then you are everything. And then you apply that to your mother and all mother beings filling space. And they're doing the same thing you are in your mandala. Whatever you're doing, they're doing. Equal. No high, no low. Equal. Om Aravatsa Nadi Soha, 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 Om Aravatsa Now just visualize it emanating in your heart, and the D filling your body with light. And this healing energy escaping to every being you're connected to throughout space. So the mantra is still going, the D is still vibrating, and all that energy is still in effect. Every being in your mandala, same, equal. Then whisper, and sound it. Body of the deity, mind the mantra, visualize with the body and all beings. Then the speech engaged into the same condition, body, speech, and mind, moving towards maturity together with power. Then compassion is the theme. The power is the result, the energy. And the insight is knowing that everything is illusory. Now we're going to change the visualization and the mantra, shorten it, take off the soha. Soha means, it's two words. It means always increasing, never stopping, boundless. And just use the Om, Ah, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di. And what we do is we take the first letters and arrange them around the D. The D is on a sword standing like this. You see the deity has a sword in his right hand, blazing, cutting through ignorance. In the left hand, thumb and ring finger holding a lotus flower that has the sutra text of form is awareness, awareness is form. It's called the Heart Sutra. These two together are the two methods of Tibetan Buddhism. The sword is cutting through any fixation using just the energy. The lotus by the left ear with the text on it, Heart Sutra, is called the sutra method of actually reading everything that we're doing right now and making wishes and so forth. But for us, the Om, A, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na is on swords laying flat. And those sounds are on the blade of each sword. And one sword with the handle connecting to the handle of the other 8 is the D. And when you visualize, the swords take your 8 aspects of your being and purify all pain, suffering, ignorance, and emotionality wherever it exists. Called cutting. So you think like that. So this is in your heart center. All the energy goes through your body, out to space. Everybody in your mandala doing the same thing. Om, Ra, Pa, Sa, Na, Di. Om, Ra, Pa, 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 Na, Di. Now take your thumb and ring finger, bring them together. When you say the D, do this. It's called flicking Dusi, bliss, outward to everyone. Om Ra Pa Na Di. Om Ra Pa Na Di. Om Ra Pa Na Di. Now closer to your heart. Om Ra Pa Na Di. Om Ra Pa Na Di. Om Ra Pa Nadi, Om Nadi, Nadi, Om Nadi, Om Nadi, Om Nadi, Om Nadi, Om Nadi, Om Nadi. Now, when you do this, you can think it goes to certain loved ones, relatives, friends, lovers, pets, enemies, people, adversaries, whatever. You choose. Om Nadi, Nadi, Om Nadi, Om Nadi, Om Nadi, Om Nadi, Nadi, Om Nadi, Om Nadi, so ha. Now, even though you don't say the mantra, it still continues. Once you've established it and the D, it still continues its vibratory energy program through the patterning of your body. And what it's doing is it's lightening up all the emotional patterns you've been placing in your body throughout this life. So it's lighter and lighter and lighter patterning every cell in your body, even through your hair, fingernails. And same for other beings in your mandala, all they're equal to you. Then we finish this part of the practice with just the sound G. So when you focus just on this sound, which is like this, you can think of a red U on its side with a hook over it in your heart center. just visualize that, and like a supernova, it flashes through your body and out to space, boundless space. And every being in your mandala is doing exactly the same thing you are. Goes like this. D. Like a flash going off, like a strobe light. D. 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 Then like a supernova filling space. D. 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 Finish with D. Your mandala with light fills space. No meditation. Relax and void it. Simply reduce your mind to the instant present of timeless awareness. Expand your mind to the infinite space of timeless awareness. In this stage of the meditation practice, called the accomplishment stage, allow your thoughts to free flow, do not attach. and any sensual perceptions that arise from your body. Do not attach. Allow everything to arise just as it is and disappear. Stay present. Emotional energy that arises from your thoughts and sensual experiences come from space and habit. They present themselves and return to space. Don't block. If there's no thought, that's the light of space. If there's thought, that's the movement of the light of space. Equal. Then at the end of this deity yoga practice of Manjushri, which we just did in 2 stages, you return as the deity for post-meditation and to remember that you are light and everything is light. You project it. The deity to whatever appears, to whoever you have relations with. And all sound becomes the mantra of whatever deity yoga you are using. And the universe is transformed into its true nature, which is totally illusory, made of light. No need to be angry. No need to be lustful or greedy. No need to be arrogant. No need to be insecure, jealous. In fact, no need to be needy. Then you bring your awareness into your place of practice and take a break. Now this is a mala. A mala is a counter. Some people treat malas as supernatural entities, but they're simply a counter. This one happens to be made of semi-precious stone called tiger eye, but mineral life holds down. Precious and semi-precious, they hold vibratory energy, whether it be good or bad, they hold. So they say it's nice to have this, but wooden malas, whatever it is, 108 beads. 100 is the 1,000 deities, like this one we have. You only need one or two. We have 1,000. That's 100 beads, 100 classes of deity. Then 5 of the beads are your emotions and how you think and sensually perceive things. That's 5. Then 3 are your body, speech, and mind. That's all you can train. You got nothing else to train. You can't train your pets. You can just be nice to them and change them from being wild and nasty to nice, like Ringo. Ringo can get nasty too. I mean. So, 108.
Well, I had a question earlier. Can you say what the meaning of the Manjushri mantra is?
Yeah, Om is a vibratory sound used by Hindus, Buddhists, other traditions. And it simply is the identification of what appears as light, healing energy, or clarity. There's all different kinds of definitions. But we apply it to ignorance because we have 2 awarenesses and we're only using one. The Om represents the other. Our awareness is all emotional. I like this, I don't like that. I'm great, I'm less than. And I don't know anything, I'm deliberately stupid. And some people are. They work on being stupid. You know? And you can see it, political leaders, military leaders, corporate leaders, get it? Stupid. Deliberately. Egocentric, we use the word egocentric. Enough of that. But those 5 are your makeup, plus 3, your body, speech, and mind using those 5. Just like the 5 elements, you want to heal, you got to use the elements somehow, some way. Abby uses massage, using the energy patterning of the body with massage. Herbal food, she's cured me with, changed my whole diet from toxic food to healing food. And food is medicine. If I don't eat right, I die. That's it. I'm not ready.
I guess what I'm looking for is a paraphrase of the mantra.
Om is clarity. Ah is the sound of energy. Ra is the heat, the warmth. Ha is the male aspect of energy, the method. Sa is this vitality, how it's applied to life form. Na is channel. D is light itself. So means increasing. Spa in India they say spa, Tibetans say so. Ha is like a low ha. Ha is the result. What's the result? Maturity. This is used to find things. This is Google in Tibet.
I guess what I'm looking for is a sentence that's just the meaning of the mantra in one sentence. Like,
Oh, mantra.
medicine Buddha's blue, blue, great blue,
Well,
heal.
we're going to do that one next.
No,
But the vibratory energy of mantra is energy itself expressed through the voice. So
okay.
Om Ara Pasanadi Soha has different, each soul is a different sound, right? But
Right.
when you collect them together, you get a powerful result. So the mantra is insight, because everything is made of light, everything is vibratory energy. Everything is powerful, because now you know that and how to use it. And everything is nothing whatsoever. Voidness. I'll give you an example. Voidness. See what your back's straight. This is called. This is not mantra. This is a meditation practice using light and voidness. Okay, so inhale. See your body from the bottom of your torso fill up with light, right to your tongue, right to your throat. When you exhale, see the light all drain out and your body is empty. This is the nature of space. So you're applying the nature of voidness to your body, and everything that appears in space to your body is light. Again, inhale, fill with light up to your, so you can taste it up to your tongue. Then exhale and see all of the light drain downward out of the body. Now, take your right hand and open one finger. Women, left hand. Use your left hand. Men, right hand. As you inhale, raise your elbow and arm so that it's level with your shoulder and close your nostril. Inhale, your body is filled with light. Exhale, bring the hand away and visualize the light all draining out. Now do the opposite hand. Inhale, close, body filled. Exhale, draining out. Again, right hand, close. Exhale. Left, the opposite hand. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Body fills with light. Exhale. Drain. Voidness. One more time. Now that was 6 times. Now we're going to do 3 more. This is called the 9 yantra. Inhale, fill with light. Exhale, lean forward. Compress your abdomen. Drain all the light out. Empty body. Inhale, fill. Exhale, down. Inhale. Down. Inhale. Relax. Breathe normal. No visualization. Then raise your hands like this, so that the palms are opposite. Okay? Again. One more time. That's it. Body, speech, mind. 1, 2, 3. What you did is just slammed all that chi you just created. Onto Yantra breathing is 100 different methods. We have 12 minutes now.
Yeah.
PRAJNAPARAMITA. That's the text that was sitting on Manjushri's lotus, right? This is PRAJNAPARAMITA, female Buddha. In her right hand, she has a Vajra. This is the tantric tradition. In her left hand, she has a Mala. Okay, sutra tradition. What is she holding? Oh, text. She has the text of the Heart Sutra. Okay, so sutra and tantra, then 2 hands in the lap, right on top of left thumbs touching, like the Buddha Amitabha of infinite light. Meditation posture. Her seat elbow is the D closed. So it's a square with a little dot over it. And it's the sound of space. Vam. Looks like this in Sanskrit. Put the Vam in your heart in white light. Become this female deity, Buddha deity. 4 arms, like this. Gate, gate,
Gate, Arasangate, Bodhisattva. Gate, gate, Varagate, Varasangate, Bodhisattva. Gate, gate, Varagate, Varasangate, Bodhisattva.
Now go like this. Flex your muscle.
Gate, gate, Varagate, Varasangate, Bodhisattva.
Yeah.
Gate,
Right on top of it.
gate, gate, Varagate, Varasangate, Bodhisattva.
And say the mantra which connects all the wisdom of male and female energy with the word Tadyata. Then all the ultimate awareness of clarity with Om. Tadyata. Om. Gate, gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhisattva. Tadyata. Om. Gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhisattva. Tadyata. Om. Gate, gate, Paragate, Parasangate, Bodhisattva. Gate means beyond. Beyond body, beyond speech, beyond intellect, mind. That's the three gatis. Gati, gati, paragati, far beyond. Bodhi, soha means into ultimate awareness, always increasing, timeless, never ending. Tadyata, om, gati, gati, paragati, parasangha, bodhi, soha. Tadyata, om, gati, gati, paragati, parasangha, bodhi, soha. Parasangati means mature, as a human, mature. Then next life, mature. Life after that, human again, mature. That's it. Kante, kante, paragate, parasangate, bodhisoha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisoha. One more time. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, bodhisoha. Buddha symbolizes female Buddha. All pervasive, everything and everyone in one symbol. So all beings into you. You as PRAJNAPARAMITA disappear into the space symbol in your heart, the bomb. The bomb in a five-colored sphere of light blends with the totality of the phenomenal world. Voidness, relax, no meditation. Contemplate space. We have 5 minutes. Before we do the dedication prayer, which is how we end practice, we're going to do what is called Tonglen in Tibetan, exchanging yourself for others. And today, in parts of the world, we have raging forest fires, wiping out whole communities and killing countless sentient beings and humans. And the worst right now that I've seen is California. So we're going to exchange ourselves and think that we take in all the harm and negative energy that's occurring from this environmental situation, loss of life and everything, as black light into your heart and disappear. Then with your imagination, you send light back to all those animals, humans, experiencing that, and see them all healthy, cows, forest, everything, beautiful. Take away the negative with the inhale, black light into your heart center. Exhale, clear light, white light back. Imagine everything perfect, best of everything to all those sentient beings, your mother. Exchanging yourself for others. This is the highest bodhisattva practice. Heartfelt compassion, empathy, unconditional love. You can do this practice to any situation: war, famine, disease, poverty, environmental destruction, and so forth. If you have an individual situation of a friend or relative, lover, even an enemy, you can take their dis-ease in with black light to your heart. Exhale white light back to them and see them totally healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This is a very good practice if you watch the news or go on Facebook, which I don't do either. Now we're going to dedicate to merit. Now, we started the practice tonight with the altruistic motivation, using the 6 supports and generosity, morality, patience, perseverance, meditative concentration, and voidness as the 6 disciplines. Now at the bottom of the page, we're going to sum it all up. By this virtue of having realized Mahamudra, voidness of mind, may I quickly establish all beings without a single exception in this state. With the blessing of the Buddhas who obtained the 3 bodies, with the blessing of the unchanging truth of the Dharma, and with the blessing of the unwavering aspirations of us, the Sangha, may this dedication prayer be fulfilled. And to the left, Kewadi Nirdu Dam, Chargya Champo Tu Kirden, Joa Chin Chin Maru Ha, Te Sala Go Parsho, Sanjay Kuso Zenpai Chimwata, Choni Metu Zenpai Chimwata, Gendir Niche Dupai Chimwati, Shitar Gomwa Moma Tru Pan Sho. Then in Hawaiian, you have your thumb and little finger, the earth and space. And so from your earth heart, touch your thumb to your heart, Shaka, healing energy out to all me. This is Hawaiian. You go like this. Shaka. Sista, brother. Taduchi Che, mahalo. Thank you very much for being with us.